Your mind is your greatest weapon. Your mind can also be your biggest obstacle, the thing stopping you from having wholesaling real estate success. What I've done systematically over the past 7 years was reprogram my entire mind, reset my brain for wholesaling success. Really success in general in all aspects of entrepreneurship, health, wealth, whatever it is. And what I want to do today is really share with you exactly how anyone watching this can really just reset their entire brain. I truly believe most wholesalers and most people just in general, their brains are screwed up. And it's not in the mindset of making money. It's not in the right way of doing well. And it really needs to be completely reprogrammed, recalculated, whatever you want to call it, for you to get sick, for you to have success. The honest truth is most people watching this are just dilly-dallying through life. You're dilly-dallying through your wholesaling, finding your sellers, making money, becoming successful, right? All these things. When ultimately what you need to be doing right now is thriving, not surviving. And like a car, you got to recalibrate it. You got to tune it up a little better and you can just do a lot better, right? You can also just make your success a lot better and really tune everything so you are at a better frequency of making more money. So exactly what I want to do today is share with you exactly how I've reprogrammed and rehacked my brain and how exactly you can reset your brain for wholesaling success, life in general, so you can make a ton of money, right? The honest truth is you are not your environment. And a lot of people are a product of how they react and things like that. When really you can start changing the way your brain works. You can make a ton more money in wholesaling. The truth is, if we switch brains, right? For a Freaky Friday situation, right? If you and I switch brains, do you think that I could make you more money in wholesaling real estate? Let's play that for an example. Duh. Obviously, the answer is yes. If I switch brains with you and we switch lives, I would definitely make a lot more money. And why is this? Is it because your circumstance is worse? What's going on, right? No, the truth is because it's not your circumstance. It's how you're thinking. That's the craziest thing about it. And that's how you're going to become successful here. It's not the environment. It's not, oh, you got 2 kids, that's why you're not successful, right? It's more than your environment. And a lot of people like that, right? And a lot of people want that as the excuse, as the reason why they're not successful. And that's not even close to the reason why. And so what I want to do is just really kind of factory reset your brain when it comes to making money in wholesaling real estate so you can make more money. And exactly some things that are a little controversial to talk about, right? This is why it's on my personal channel here, because not a lot of people like talking about this stuff. They know the wholesaling gurus are going to tell you about this. This is stuff that's not sexy. Well, to me, I think it's pretty cool, but it's actually going to make more money. And I see a lot of wholesalers having these issues that just frankly, no one wants to talk about. And so let's kind of talk about this from the top, right? Your mind is your greatest weapon. It is a weapon that's going to make you money. How you think is exactly going to correlate to the amount of money you make, because how you think, that is how you act. And how you act is very important because how you act is going to determine how you react. How you think is how you react. And how you act and react will show you exactly how much cash you're going to make. So your mind is your greatest weapon here. But you got to understand your mind is also going to be the biggest obstacle that's going to keep you poor. If you have a family that is poor or it's never really made much, a lot of it is going to be your environment, but a lot of that can also be attributed to genetics, not in the way I'm talking about, right? It's not like genetically you're like that. It's really your environment. And that's a very interesting thing. If you grow up with people that told you you can never be anything, you have a 9-to-5 job, that's all you do, that's all your family's ever been and all your environment's ever been, you're going to have this like cage inside your own head. It's not like this real actual thing. It's mentally, you're like, I can't do it. This is where I'm at. This is all I'm ever going to be. And that society has taught you that this is what it is. When the truth is, if you can just break free of those chains, which are imaginary, FYI, you can do fine. I've talked about this story a lot, and this is a very fascinating story, but this is the truth about the United States of America and really anybody watching this that is poor that wants to make more money in wholesaling. They've done studies on fleas, and it's kind of weird, but where a flea can jump 15 feet in the air, and a flea's like this big. Okay, 15 feet for something this big is insane. That's me jumping probably a quarter mile or something crazy, right? And they've shown studies that if you put a glass over a flea, mama flea and papa flea, they used to jump 15 feet. When they jump right now, they can only go 12 inches, maybe 10 inches off, and then they hit the glass and they stop. Then they have a kid, and the kid sees mama flea and papa flea only jumping 10 inches, and that's the most. And then here's the interesting part. Over time, you go to the grandparents, the generations, you do this. They have found that the grandchild flea, when they take the glass off, the flea never ever jumps back to 10 feet, 15 feet ever again. It physically can, but it just won't. And the truth is it physically can, but it's seen in generation that they never were able to jump that high. And I feel like a lot of people watching this, it's your brain that's stopping you. It's not you. It's not your ability to make money. You've just been seeing everyone around you and your family been stunted at how much money to make. It's not a glass ceiling, but like it's what, 50 grand a year, 60 grand a year. Some of y'all, it's 100 grand a year, right? Whatever it is. For some of y'all, it's $1 million a year, right? And a lot of you guys, that's what you're at. And you want to make more. And the biggest obstacle is not going to be how physically you're able to do it. A lot of y'all like the fleas. I was like those fleas for a while. It's how you take your mind and reset of what is capable. And I know it's always a cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason. Do what's possible and do what seems impossible and it will be done, I promise you. You have to understand this. It's not a role model. It's not how you do it. It's exactly, guys are stuck in this. We got to change the mentality. And so your mind, especially when it comes to making money, it's like water, okay? You put water in a glass, it's the form of the glass. You put water on the floor, it puddles everywhere, right? Your mind is like the water, right? If I put water in a glass for 15 years, it's just going to be in the shape of that glass. If I put it in, I don't know, a vase, it's going to be the shape of a vase. And so like water in your mind, you can shape it to whatever you want. Now, either going to be a square shape, you can be a circle shape, you can be whatever shape you want, but you choose what shape you're going to be because you can be whatever shape you want. And it's pretty interesting here. And so what we're talking about is your mind should be in the glass. The water should be in the glass of a rich wholesaler, a person that makes money, the person that doesn't make excuses, the person that actually can get rich. Not in the shape of glass of a poor person that's not going to make any money in wholesaling. The cool part is you choose exactly what your mind is going to be. And if you think like a winner, eventually you turn into a winner, because when you think like a winner, and those are your constant thoughts and your subconscious thoughts, you start doing what winners do. When you think like something, you start doing like that person. They find a lot of actors sometimes. They'll play a role, like the guy in the Elvis movie, right? He practices Elvis accent so hard, it took him years to not have that accent because that's all he did. He thought like Elvis when he talked. That's all he did 24/7 for like, the dude's like Australian or something, right? And he just had an Elvis accent. Not an accent, like he sounded like it. And it's fascinating what your mind can do, because he's genetically not supposed to sound like that or how he grew up. He's supposed to sound like Australian, but he's not. And so your mind is like water. If you train it enough times, you're going to start thinking, it's subconscious. You start talking like Elvis. Subconscious, you start talking like money. Subconscious, you start making money when you start thinking like this. And so you are how you think. And so what I want to do is break down 10 principal concepts I've done to reprogram my mind that you're going to start doing so you can reset your brain and make a ton of money. You have to understand this. You are how you think. And a lot of you guys consciously think like you're a winner, but do you subconsciously really have these thoughts coming in your mind? That's what we're talking about today. And so let's talk about this number 10 here. Are you the victim or the victor? Let me explain this very carefully. When you wake up in the morning, something bad happens in wholesaling. First of all, when you wake up, are you in the victim mindset or the victor mindset? And what I mean by that is, are you thinking like a winner? Or are you thinking like a loser who is the victim? Society is my fault. I know it sounds kind of weird, but how you wake up in the morning is very important. And this will show you exactly how your day is. Now, I'm not the type of guy to tell you have to get up at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. to become successful. That's not what it is. It's more about the work you do. And I'll argue from 2 to 7 p.m. is really the money making hours in wholesaling. Like most of my money is always made from 2 to 7 p.m. Virtually all of it. Because that's when my appointments usually were in the afternoons. People are off of work, right? Talk to sellers, motivated sellers, I cold call, right? And so like everyone tells you got to wake up before 8. That's not what I'm talking about here. Do you wake up in the morning and do you feel like the day was a gift or was it a curse? The victim feels it as a curse. Victor seems that as a gift. And once you have that mindset, things start changing. Most of reality, and this is a controversial statement, which I'm leaving it for this channel. Most of reality is shaped by our perspective. Yes, terrible things will always happen in your life. Terrible things will always happen in my life. There's some things just out of our controls, and it's completely true. But what you got to understand here is how you react to the situation is going to affect deeply, and I mean deeply, of what your outcomes will be. And so terrible things will happen to many people in life, but you are human, and that's part of the human experience. Bad things will always happen to you. There's very rarely someone in the world goes through life unscathed. They live to 100 years old, their life is perfect. There are probably some, but for most people, especially the greats of all time, tragedy, sadness, terrible things have always happened, but those have never defined the person. It's how they reacted to it is how they made that situation into a better person and took the positives out of it. Do not put the positives out of a bad situation. You'll be stunted in your mind of that bad situation. You'll never do well. I see a lot of people have trauma and they bring that into them. I have a lot of acquisitions agents that have, I call it baby mama trauma. Okay. I call it baby mama trauma. They got a situation with their baby mama. And I'm like, I don't care about your baby mama trauma. And they think it's a joke, but it's absolutely not a joke. Your baby mama trauma. I don't care how bad your baby mama screwed you, your situation, how she's this word, that word, your child support. I don't care about your baby mama trauma. No one cares. What I care about is you talking to sellers, making more money so you can go on a vacation with your kid. That's a positive thing you can do with your baby mama trauma. All right. Oh, you complaining about you got to pay alimony, or I've had acquisitions, people like that. I'm like, okay, well, make a ton more money and then just make it not even an issue. I've had guys making 60 grand a year. They come to us, they make 150 grand. Boom. Now your alimony is not a problem anymore. Okay. That's how we deal with your baby mama trauma. Right. There are some situations that are tough, but you can always do it by making more money. For most people's situations outside of death, a lot of ways to help those situations by making more money. I know it's a very crude thing to say, but for a lot of people's situations outside of death, you can solve it by making more money. And that's kind of what we're talking about here for wholesaling real estate. Number 9 here, this is a very important one, but this is the law of momentum. In wholesaling real estate, you want to reset your brain. You want to make more money. You want to get rich. Momentum is going to be essential here. All right. The law of momentum, basically, there's momentum going, it's just going to keep rolling. And it's hard to stop something when it's in motion. An object in motion is going to stay in motion, while an object still is going to stay still. If your wholesaling business is still, it's going to create a lot more energy to create that momentum than it is just to have the ball already rolling, right? And the thing about momentum is momentum doesn't care in life. Momentum doesn't care if your life's going bad or if it's going good. All right. It's the same thing. It doesn't care if the ball is going left or right. It's just momentum. All right. It's not up or down like you think there's gravity. No, it's just like left or right. Left's bad, right's good. It doesn't care. It's whatever the momentum's going, it's usually going to go there. So when your life's going worse, momentum's going to keep it going worse. And you're going to have to do something really, a lot of energy to stop it and going the other way. Some of you are all in that situation right now. But for most wholesalers making a ton of money, if you're watching this and you're actually, maybe made 6 figures this year, your first time ever, things are going well, heck, you're going to get to hit the 7 figures soon, right? The law of positive momentum is clearly going to state here that if I keep doing good things in my business, better things usually happen. We call this the upward spiral, right? So many people have talked about this, but it's just the opposite of downward. Everyone's heard the downward spiral, right? You lost your job, you stop making money, you do drugs and all these bad things, and then boom, you go down the hole, right? Your life goes bad, you get arrested, you shriek at a Jets game, bad things happen, right? But the upward spiral is the same exact thing. And no one ever talks about an upward spiral. No one ever talks about that. But when good things happen in your life, usually they happen for a reason. Now, some people win the lottery, stuff like that, I totally get it. But the upward spiral always happens when you do one positive thing like a domino and you just keep the momentum rolling. For a good thing to happen, it usually takes another good thing to happen too for it to go even better. And so what I mean by that is it's easier to go from $100,000 a year in wholesaling real estate income to $125,000 a year in wholesaling income. That is practically super easy to do. Like it's like 5% more energy. But to go from $0 in wholesaling income to $10,000 in wholesaling income, it is insane amount of work you have to do just to keep that momentum up. And it's kind of gravity, but because it's still, and you got to push forward to get that momentum going. So the upward spiral is important. Okay. The more good things that happen, I usually do better things in my life. You see this upward spiral happen a lot with people in recovery and stuff like that, where they hit rock bottom and they're just like, okay, well, I'm going to stop doing this bad thing. I'm going to start working out. I'm going to start drinking water. Be more positive, going out with friends and start meeting people, being more social, then your life just gets way better. And a lot of these people are like, oh, I found my magical spouse after all this stuff, right? You didn't find your spouse because just they magically appeared, right? It's because you started doing more positive things in your life and that momentum kept you to that good part. A lot of people don't understand this, but good things happen with momentum. And if you want good things to happen in your life, do more momentum, okay? One thing I can't magically explain is every single time, I'll tell everybody, okay? And I've said this a million times, but when you are in a bad situation, the only way to switch it is to do better things. When you are in wholesaling real estate and you are making no money, you have to start doing good thing number 1 and just magically have it make more money from there. What do I mean by this, okay? More marketing equals more deals. So I'm not talking about upward spiral, but I'm not doing your personal I'm not your guru. I'm not your therapist today. Okay. Well, I'm your wholesaling therapist. How this translates to making more money, because that's what you're watching this to make more money. Okay. I'm not your guy telling you how to live a better life. Okay. More marketing equals more deals. All right. And what I've always found in life, hands down in wholesaling real estate, not in life, just do wholesaling specifically. If you want to create that upward spiral, you start with one thing, one positive thing. You start adding positive things, the ball starts rolling. And so the easiest one is more marketing equals more deals. That is it. That's all I found to make more money wholesaling. More marketing equals more deals. Chef's kiss. Okay, what do I mean by that? Zach, I'm broke. I need more, make more money. Okay, I've done everything. Okay, what we got to do is market more. What do you mean market more? Do more calls, do more texts, do more digital bandit signs, more drawing for dollars, reverse drawing for dollars. And this magical thing happens, right? It's all spooky, fooky, fairy tale land. But statistically, when you make more calls, make more texts, you put more marketing out there, you get more motivated sellers saying they want to sell their property. And when you have more motivated sellers saying they want to sell their property, statistically, what I have found is you get more contracts, more appointments. And when we get more contracts, you sell more of them and you make more money. So translation, the more marketing you do equals better deals and more deals. That's always what I found. And there's been a very easy chart I can just draw for anyone of the more money I make in wholesaling real estate always comes down to the more marketing I do. So if you look at me making 10K a month wholesaling to 20 to 30 to 40 to 100K, 2, 3, just shooting up there in my local market and everywhere virtual wholesaling. Every time I made an extra 100K a month, I've done a lot more marketing. Shocker, shocking statement, but sometimes it takes a simple statement like that to be like, wow. And there are exceptions. There's wholesalers that just absolutely suck in their acquisitions process that needs help with it. We had a live stream this week on this, right? We get it right. freewholesaling.com, my free wholesaling course, we kind of break this down. But really for most people watching this, more marketing is going to always equal to more deals. Number 8 here. This is a small one, but this is one that always creates positive momentum, all right? Positive momentum. Waking up with gratefulness in the morning and looking at the good, not the bad. I know it's a weird thing to say, but I've always statistically had better working days. I've made more money. My acquisitions people have always made money. When you look at life in a positive perspective, when you wake up in the morning depressed, sad, that's going to translate to your work. When you're cold calling and you're depressed and sad, when you're texting and you're depressed and sad, when you talk to a seller and you're depressed and sad, you're going to make less money because there's always going to be an acquisitions agent or another wholesaler that's looking at life like, wow, you know what? Doctor told me I had 5 months to live. I'm going on 2 years. I'm healthy. They might say they're in remission or something if they have a terrible disease and they have a new lease on life. And it's not, obviously bad things have happened to them, but they're not going to sit on the bed depressed all day. Win. They're going to make something good. And there's plenty of situations I get, but it is always in the best interest of everyone if you can look at the good, not the bad. And it might seem like there's more bad than good out there in the world if this is the lens you're looking at. But I promise you in my complete heart that you're only seeing the bad because you are in the bad. And when you're in the bad, all you can see is the bad. When you go out here and buy a car, all right? Say you buy a Camaro. Once you buy that Camaro, you start thinking about the Camaro. When you look around the world, you're going to see more Camaros. It's not because it's the law of positive attraction, right? It's just because you start thinking about it more and you start noticing more. When you start thinking about bad things, you start noticing bad things, and that creates an infinite loop of sadness. When you start thinking of positive, good things, you see more positive, awesome things. Start going from there, right? It's the little things like, it's raining outside. Oh, it's raining. When I used to work at a grocery store, right? People, it's raining today. It sucks. It's raining. Are you kidding me? It hasn't rained in 15 days. My lawn needs it, right? Then there's people like that. It's all about how you see life, all right? Waking up with gratefulness is always going to make you more money, no matter what. And that mindset's going to shift when you have a bad day in wholesaling. You're going to put that momentum in the good or bad category. Number 7, I've been talking about this all year, and I keep pushing people on this. But this is knowing what I need to do when I wake up in the morning. This is a brain reset because a lot of people, this is a brain thing and a mindset thing, I'll say, but they wake up in the morning, they're sleeping, right? They're sleeping. They wake up, they're like, okay, alarm's going off. It's 6:30 a.m. They wake up, they wash their face, they brush their teeth, they get their cereal or whatever, they wake up, they're like, okay, what do I do? How do I make money wholesaling today? Let's just pull a list. Okay, what else do I do? Okay, this guru's trying to sell me a court. If you're already waking up and this is like your mindset in the morning, you are going to be broke, all right? B-R-O-K-E, Baroque as a joke. I'm not even kidding you right now. You have to wake up in the morning knowing what you have to do, what you have to accomplish, and how you're going to be successful. You must have at least kind of a to-do list, or at least a list written down of the tasks you need to be doing, maybe a schedule, maybe time. Some people do order of importance from top to bottom, whatever it is. Every time I feel overwhelmed or something, I just make a list of things from the most important to the least important, and I just run through the list. I've always done better like that. Some people get overwhelmed thinking of all these things. You just do it visually, boom, go down the list. And so knowing what I have to do when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to get more stuff done. The more stuff you do, usually the more money you make. So this is very, very important. Number 6 here. And this is a huge mindset shift that I did to make me a ton of money. But this is going straight up to shifting your goals. There's not a lot of crazy things I can tell you here. All right. But you need to go straight, like right now. All right. In wholesaling real estate, your goals are probably off. If you're not making the money you think you should be making, your goals are definitely going to be screwed up. And what I mean by your goals are going to be screwed up, a lot of you guys have the goal of money. And obviously that's a good macro, I guess, goal, but it's not the permanent goal you should be having in life. And what I mean by this is you need to shift most of your goals and not your long-term goal. I get that, right? Most people become millionaires. I get it, like me, right? Duh. But you guys have medium and short-term goals you guys aren't hitting. And this is the thing I think you guys don't talk about enough. But even in that, a lot of you guys have short-term and medium-term goals. And you're like, Zach, no. I got my goal. I'm trying to make 5,000 calls every single week, or 10,000 a month. And I'll blatantly tell you to your face, and I've said a lot of people to their faces, that is the wrong goal. That is the reason why you're not doing well, because you haven't shifted your goals. Your goal is to make 10,000 calls. That is the stupidest goal I've ever seen anyone do. I'll tell people straight to their face, Zach, I'm making 15 grand a month. Well, you probably make 25, 30 grand a month if you just shift your goals. What do you mean by this? A lot of people get really confused, but this is a resetting your brain and wholesaling for success here. I used to have the goal of making calls, but it ended up being like, wow, if I did this KPI instead, I ended up doing more of that, because kind of like we said about cars, when I focus on this KPI instead of this KPI, I actually start doing more. So if I had, let's use contacts, right? Contacts is the KPI of how many people let's say you call 100 people, 20 people pick up, you actually have 20 conversations. Those conversations are contacts. When you start focusing on contacts instead of calls, you end up making more contacts. And that I've always found to make more money. And so, okay, I should make contact. No. Just saying that's an example. Now, the biggest goal anybody having in a short to medium term, and basically this is the diagnosis if you have a wholesaling business. I can look at any wholesaler in the whole country right now, and I can tell from this one KPI, just one KPI, how much money you have made this year in wholesaling real estate. It's not how many calls you made. It's not how many contacts you made. It's not how many postcards. It's not how much money you spent. Heck, I don't even care how much money you spent, right? Some people spend no money at all. They make more money than guys spending 30 grand a month in PPC or something stupid like that, because their goals aren't shifted the right way. And what is this important thing? It's offers, baby. That's the KPI. That's the KPI that no one ever talks about, but you make a ton of money in wholesaling when you make offers. So that is what we got to talk about today, right? If you haven't made any offers this week, you're going to make no money. No offers, no money. More offers, more money. And so calls are important, but contacts are more important than that. And really the most important part of it after contacts is offers. And I see a lot of people that they'll go to me like, Zach, I made 20,000 calls this week and I got no deals. What's up? Okay, well, I'm going out here and I'm like, okay, well, you made 20,000 calls. Let's see here. You got about 6,000 contacts. So that's not terrible. And then you got 4 offers out of 6,000 contacts. That's absolutely terrible. And so I know for a fact that you're getting a hold of the people the right way, right? That's not bad, but for some reason, these people aren't converting. And what I got to do there is make a decision, right? Okay, so what's the issue? Is it the quality of lists? Because I can just get a regular list of people that like Marvel superheroes and cold call them and see if they want to sell the house. It's not going to be a good wholesaling list because there's no motivating factor on the property. And I'll get contacts, but I won't be able to give them much offers because most of them don't want to sell their house because they want to use a realtor. That's completely normal. The truth is, if you get them, you have the wrong list. If you can get a lot of calls and contacts, but they're not converting to offers or people actually want to sell their property, you probably have a wrong list. But you just making calls, you never know that's the issue. That's the problem in your business. And this is why I've always told people, like, stop focusing hard on just only contacts. It's got to be about that offers. And when the contacts to offers doesn't convert, it's always going to be an issue most likely with your list. And if I know the contacts are working, it's not a skip. A lot of people are like, oh, it's the skip tracing that's the issue. If we can prove time and time again, you're getting 20, 25% contact rate, it's not skip tracing that's the issue here. The real issue herein lies is you just have a bad list. And is it a high equity list? Is a list that everyone's done right? You got to know that. And so offers is going to be king here, because if you're doing a list and you're getting no offers out and no motivated people, your main issue here is going to be the quality of your list. And so speaking of quality right here, number 5, we're going to speak about the quality time over working time. And I see a lot of wholesalers out here, they focus so hard on their grind, right? I'm grinding, bro. I'm grinding hard. Cringiest stuff I've ever seen. It's not about how much time you work. And I've told people this forever. It's never about that. It's about the quality of time you're putting in. And so it's the same thing in the gym, right? And one guy told me this at the gym once. It blew my mind. It's not about how much weight you have on the barbell. It's how much weight is on the muscle. And that was pretty interesting, right? And what that basically means is, who cares how much, if you're a bodybuilder, right? How much, it's more important about how much muscle you have than how much you can lift. And a lot of people focus on, if I have more weight, you can make more muscle. Yeah, but you really got to understand here that, it doesn't matter how much time you're working, it's how much quality time you're putting in. And a lot of wholesalers don't understand that. A lot of y'all will work a little, you'll go on your phones, you'll go do this or that, and you'll go out here and try to network with a realtor that absolutely is brand new, doesn't know anything, can't even provide you any value. And you think you're spending 4 hours on this great network thing. And you're obviously, if you just cold called, you'd make more money. I love networking. I've told everyone to network in the comments, network like this. I network all the time, but it's about the quality of time you're putting in this business. And so one example of networking I've always done was, I never sit down at 4 o'clock on a Wednesday and network for 3 hours. That's a terrible, terrible way to spend my time. But if I got to drive an hour for an appointment, maybe I'll spend 45 minutes with a realtor and network while I'm driving. That's way better, right? And just, it's how quality of the time you're putting in. And I see a lot of wholesalers, the same thing is they'll get up at 4 a.m. and I literally call them bumbling idiots. And they're like, what do you mean, man? I go to bed at 6 p.m. I'm like, good job, bro. Oh no, they'll go to bed at 10 p.m. Oh, I go to bed at 10 p.m. and I wake up at 6. Okay, good for you, bro. So I go to bed at 8 p.m. though, and I get up at 4. That's great. You get up at 8 p.m. But here's the problem: from 4 a.m. to basically 8:30, no seller wants to talk to you on the phone. And so in wholesaling, I always call this, as a beginner, there's dead time. And what I mean by dead time is there are times where you can't talk to sellers, you can't follow up with them, and all you can really do is pull lists, do some skip tracing, education, really setting up your day and stuff. And that's really a 4-hour period. It can be after 7 p.m., 7 to 11, or it can be from basically 5 to 9, right? 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. And so you can choose to get up in the morning at 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. and do those things, or you can choose from basically 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. to start doing that dead time stuff that, don't have to, right? And so it's ultimately up to you. I think a lot of people feel like what time you wake up, you take a special shower, you do this special routine. That's not going to be the thing that's going to get you successful. It's what you're doing during the time it takes to talk to sellers. Are you cold calling? Are you pulling your lists? Are you doing the work? And I'm kind of using bodybuilding as the same thing, right? If you're a bodybuilder, it doesn't matter if you work out at 5 a.m. or 5 p.m. Some people it's different, but it doesn't, if you're doing the work and you're eating the right way and you're getting the recovery and stuff, usually you're going to be the same. It's the truth. And so the quality time you're putting in has to be really important. And so I think a lot of people love to say they work 15 hours and then really they still cold call 2 hours, but they did stupid stuff for the other time. How much time are you spending on that positive wheel? How much time are you spending that's going to contribute to you making offers? Remember, we talked about offers as the KPI. I get it, bro. You grinded for 15 hours, but you spent 12 hours networking. Is networking going to create offers for you? No, it's not. First of all, we're kind of going through this KPI thing. You want to make some deals, right? How many of that time were spent doing calls, texts that should led to you getting leads and contacts? And how many of that led to offers? Quality time and working times is something a lot of wholesalers don't understand. And it's something we really need to talk about because a lot of wholesalers, they don't understand it. All right. You guys have to understand it doesn't matter how hard we're working or how long it is. It's the quality of time you're putting in the work. Number 4, it's going to get a lot of people upset, but this is the truth. Leaving this for this part. But a lot of you guys have to stop your little dopamine hits. You guys got to make work fun. Your fun should be the work. And this is where, I was asking a little weird here. I'm not. You're asking me exactly how I reset my brain, how it made my brain actually love working in wholesaling. First of all, I am part of the 0.000001 of people in wholesaling that eat, breathe, live, sleep, nap, think of wholesaling real estate. I wake up in the morning, it's wholesaling houses. I go to bed, it's wholesaling houses. I should have a ring finger because I'm married to the game. Okay. I'm just being honest with you. Okay. That's what I should honestly have a ring, you know. I'm married to the wholesaling game, right? The wholesaling game talks back sometimes. It's okay. But what I mean by that is I'm not talking about now, right? You can have some fun stuff now, obviously, but I'm talking about for most beginners out here. All right. I'm talking about the 17, 18, 19, 20-year-olds, right? A lot of you guys are getting these dopamine hits and they're attacking you everywhere. And it's gotten worse since the 80s. All right. More sugar in your food, more TV shows, more this, and that. And eventually now in our generation, you know, you got TikTok. I post on TikTok all the time. I get it. But like a lot of these things are designed for you to get dopamine hits, right? You're watching people dance, you know, it's all quick, right? And it's not good. It really is not, right? You got YouTube Shorts, which I love YouTube Shorts. I found some great educational stuff on YouTube Shorts, which is fine, but it's all about what you look for. A lot of guys will spend a lot of time playing video games, social media, TikTok, TV shows. Oh, you'll watch the latest season of X, Y, and Z, right? And that stuff's all great. And I'll tell you, most of that stuff is good distractions. It's good me time. Heck, I spent 2 hours today playing Madden with one of my friends. I beat him. First game, I beat him 30-20. And the second game, I beat him 41-19. So FYI, shout out to, I had some friends want to play Madden with me. And it's Sunday, you know, and I was like, fine, I got 2 hours, I can play Madden, right? And I did it. I love Madden, right? It's a fun video game. But like, I can do this because I'm a multimillionaire that has employees. And for those 2 hours that I played Madden, I want everyone to understand this. Okay. For those 2 hours I played Madden, the amount of lists pulled, the amount of follow-ups with the motivated sellers that happened never stopped. The amount of people answering postcards from our company never stopped. The amount of people answering follow-ups, people texting back on texts, people cold calling back the cold calls. People are like just reaching back out to us. Oh, I got a probate letter. That never stopped. Okay. Thousands of sellers were probably reached out in those 2 hours that I was going out here and playing my Madden. You know why? Because I have employees. All right. I have employees that do basically all the work for me. So what I mean by this is I can do it now as a multimillionaire making a ton of money in wholesaling, but you got to understand at 24 years old, I can do that. From the age of 17, 18, 19, 20, and basically half of 21 years old, I reduced all my dopamine hits by pretty much 95%. And that's not a thing to brag about. All right. It's just an honest truth in my life. I did not spend a lot of time with my friends. I still kept my relationships, hung out with them at least once a week, maybe an hour, not much. And I was like, Zach, are you leaving? I'm leaving, right? And it wasn't fun, but I knew what it was for. All right. And what I meant by that is I basically reduced all my social media, all my video games, TV shows. I literally, I bought Madden this year, right? Do you guys want to know when the last time I bought Madden was? Take a guess. Madden 17 was the last Madden I ever bought. You know my last video game I bought before that? You want to know? It was Fortnite. That was right when Fortnite came out during high school. And GTA 5 I bought in 2014. Those are the last video games I played and bought because I basically completely stopped for wholesaling real estate. And then basically Madden 24 was the second video game I bought since then. And the other one was Call of Duty or whatever the new one was like a year ago, right? I didn't buy any video games. I didn't play any video games. You can look at my Xbox, my Steam account. You can look 0 hours basically played between 17 to 21 years old. Crazy, right? But I eat, live, and breathe what I say. I got the social proof for anyone want to know. And what that means is a lot of society is for you to hit those dopamine hits. And the truth is it numbs you. You kind of get used to it. You kind of expect it. And so when you go to super fun land and you go back to regular life and life doesn't hit you with constant dopamine hits, it's like, I want to go back to the fun thing, right? And then you're working and then you associate that with not the fun thing. And then you end up not enjoying what you're doing. Have you ever talked to an Amish dude? Amish people are the happiest people statistically in the United States of America. Might sound weird, but if you look at statistically, the happiest, most fulfilled people in the United States of America, they are Amish. They get fulfilled from having a nice family. They get fulfilled from farming and having a good harvest. Having a good harvest brings them more pleasure than you getting any win in Fortnite or Call of Duty, okay? Because how their dopamine works in their brain is completely skewed, all right? This is why multi-millionaires and billionaires get stuck in an issue. They have all the cars, they have all the things, and what they need is constantly the new crazy thing, all right? So this is an issue. You go from a $300,000 house. You don't get excited about houses anymore until you buy your $500,000 house, then your $1 million house, then your $3 million house, then your $5 million house. And then a $4 million house won't get you excited anymore. Then your $10 million house thing that's get you get excited, right? Then you get Toyota Camry. And then you go from the Mercedes. And then you go to a Lambo. And then your Lambo goes to the Bugatti. And your Bugatti goes to the stupid thing after that, right? And just because you're mentally, you have to keep progressing. It's how people are. But like a lot of you guys are like that. And so you got to make work the exciting thing for you. And the one thing I have found is this is not a permanent thing, but what I'll tell you is it's made my life a lot easier. And so stop the dopamine hits, make the dopamine hits happen with money. That's what I mean. Have making money the thing that gets you excited. All right. I used to get excited playing video games and Fortnite and all these things. And it kind of sucks now because I'll play video games, but nothing gets me more excited than making a $100,000 wholesaling deal. That is so much more exciting to me than getting any video game score. And unfortunately, the real video game is life. And I hate to say it, and this is a controversial statement. People are going to say this, happiness is the true goal, love, all these great stuff. But in business, I'm talking about business is the video game, right? Business. How do you score a business? Is it how fulfilled you feel? You make no. Honestly, the best score for how well a business is and how happy you are in your business is your bank account and how much money you make. And so that's my score. And I think I'm scoring pretty well. And I keep intending to level up on my score, my net worth, stuff like that. And so that's the name of the game here. And a lot of you guys, you'll find that you don't need to be on TikTok all this time. You don't need to be on Netflix. You don't need to be watching. You don't. What you really need to start doing is start making money and making that your video game. And what I also mean by that is a lot of you guys, you'll have your parents say, don't get into wholesaling. That's bad. If you play 10 hours a week in video games and you just shift that with wholesaling, it's like you're not doing anything extra. You're just shifting the video games into wholesaling. And what's going to get you rich? And the kid stopped playing video games. He's doing a business. Wow. Easy. Simple as that. So you just got to start shifting the way you're thinking in your mind, and a lot of things start happening. So just number 3 here. That's what we're talking about. Make money the dopamine hit. Make money the thing that gets you excited in life. And there's things way more important in life than money. I get it, but money does help solve a lot of issues. And like I've said before, there's family things. There's obviously stuff like that health and stuff that money can't always buy. But for a lot of problems in the United States of America, for people, if you can make more money, it's usually better. Most people's lives are better with a ton of money. Money, I've always said, is like oxygen. When you have a lot of it, you don't think about it. It doesn't really matter too much. But when you don't have it, that's all you can think about. And that's the best analogy for all my haters that say, Zach only talks about making money. Well, it's a wholesaling channel, okay? But it's like when you have a ton of oxygen, you don't really think about it. But if you're underwater and you got no air, that's all you're going to think about and want. And so it's better to have the oxygen than not, all right? And that's what I mean by that, right? You just got to understand that. And so what else do I hack my brain to make more money? Number 2 here, understand what drives you and just create that beast within. This is something I think a lot of people don't understand here, but you have to create that beast. You have to create that animal. You have to create that drive, that hunger to keep you going past the point where most people quit. And how do you make more money in wholesaling real estate than any wholesaler can ever dream of, or the average wholesaler could only even fathom in their mind? By doing something that they are never willing to do. And what I've always found, to get past that point that other people are willing to do, you have to have a drive in you and a hunger in your heart that is unhealthy, that is borderline obsessive and weird, like me. Why am I one of the top wholesalers in the country? Why do I flex on all these wholesaling gurus and I'm able to? Because I have a drive and hunger inside of me that is unrivaled in most people. When I've told you I've eaten, breathed, slept, thought about wholesaling real estate every single day for 7+ years straight, not many wholesalers can say they did that. Talk to Rick, I'm weird. All right. Talk to my friends, I'm weird about it. But the truth here is it takes that drive to make a ton of money. You don't have to have that weird obsessive drive as me, but you can have a little bit of that. Just a little bit. And a lot of your drives are really messed up in your brain. If you're doing this to make more money, you ain't going to be in it, right? Am I going out here giving you free wholesaling content because I'm doing it for the money? No, I'm doing it to create a lasting legacy in my life. I truly believe wholesaling real estate has completely changed my life, and it'll completely change your life. And the sad part is, if it's not for me and Rick, you wouldn't be even learning wholesaling for free behind a $7,000 paywall. This business would be smaller, you would be making less money, and you would have less chance of the person who has no money to make money in this business. And I still have to be the person giving this business for free. And I wake up in the morning knowing, is there a single mom out here with 3 kids that needs this info for free? Should I give it to them, or should I just let the gurus take it over and put 10 grand on her credit card and take advantage of it? I'm never going to let that happen. So what do I mean by that? Understand what drives you. Is it your family? Is it so you can breathe, get that oxygen? Is it so you never have to worry about money the rest of your life? Is it to help your kids, your future family? Not even your family, not your future family. What is it? Personally, for me, it is knowing that I want to, and this is a crazy statement to say, I want to be the top wholesaler in the entire world in the history of wholesaling. And that was never my top goal ever starting out. I just wanted to make 100 grand. But at the point now, if I don't have that goal, what's the point of me even wholesaling? I make millions of dollars. I make a ton of money passively wholesaling. I'm a multimillionaire many times over. I can just end the live stream. I can end this YouTube channel. I can just delete it all. I can just stay in the house that's already paid for, right? Live my dream view. I always have outside my place. I drive my dream car. I can just kind of sit around, do nothing all day, and just travel the world and just do whatever I want. At 24 years old, this is crazy. I can do it. And so if I didn't have that drive to do that, or give free wholesaling content out, I just sit on my butt and not do it anymore. I could just take the passive income and let it grow, make plenty of money, just keep the wholesaling business kind of running. I'll probably make no money, just make the same millions of dollars, just sit around, live the retired life like Stanley from The Office, right? And that thought has always crossed my mind, but have I been given this gift of making a ton of money in wholesaling not to give it back to the people? Or should I put all this stuff behind a $10,000 paywall, start running Facebook ads? No, I give it out for free because the people deserve it and the people need it. And I've chosen not to be that stupid retired guy because I'm 24. Like, got a lot more life ahead of me. And I mean, obviously no one knows when it's all over for everyone. And so I want to, the end, always help people learn wholesaling. And how can I be that guy helping more people scale if I've never gone to doing 2,000-3,000 deals in a year, right? That's what I'm trying to get. I have the systems in place doing it. And so it's kind of fun to see how you can run up the video game. And I'm doing things I don't think any other wholesaler has ever done. And it'd be exciting to see if I can hit that, right? That's the point. It's like saying, hey, the high score of this video game is 114,000. Well, let's try to hit 115,000. Oh, but Zach, you already hit 20,000. Let's try to hit the record. That'd be kind of cool just to do it, right? And so that's kind of the point of that's what drives me now, is the amount of people that I've seen, I've changed their lives has been nothing short than spectacular. Seeing a broke kid I've seen a broke kid in Trinidad and Tobago, whose family only made 10 grand a year. Guy making 170 grand in 1 year wholesaling, a teen. He's able to provide for his family for the next, 5 or 6 years, just from 3 wholesaling deals, all probates. That's amazing. Seeing a kid making $0 at all make 500 grand their first year, and their life has changed. And they can retire their mom and help them out and help their families out. And I see all this. It drives me to keep doing that because they've always said the same thing. Zach, if it wasn't for you, because I was broke starting out, I would have never been here. I would have worked my insurance job. I worked this job. I would have done this. That's all I would have amounted in life. But you gave me the free tool to learn wholesaling for free. It changed everything. And so you want to know why that drives me so much? Because I know how much this business has saved my life, not being a grocery store manager to actually doing this. I have to. I have a duty. I believe, and I truly believe this is weird to say, that I've been giving these gifts to learn wholesaling, talk about wholesaling, and all this stuff, not for me to be greedy with it, but to give that information to the people. Because I can't take all this information in my brain to the grave when I die. Either I give it to you guys, and it stays hopefully for 1,000 years maybe on the internet before, I don't know, if something crazy happens, the aliens take over, or not. And so that's what I do. That's what drives me. What drives you? A lot of you guys, it's something small, but it's something big, right? And the most important part about driving, I think everyone needs to talk about here, and this is really important. I destroy wholesalers in my local market that have better, quote, drive or motivation than me. I always talk about the story about this one guy I used to destroy on appointments. And why did I do so much better than him? It was because I was prettier. It Was I handsomer? No. Is handsomer a word? More handsome. This guy had 2 kids and a wife. And I was 18 years old. I was making hundreds of thousands of dollars. I was balling out my Honda Accord, right? Why was I making more money than him? He had theoretically more drive than me. He had 2 kids and a wife. It wasn't matter. Yeah, he should work harder than me. Guess what? I wanted, and this is crazy to say, but it's not about what that drive was. But I wanted to get out of my bag boy job and not be a 9-to-5 worker. I wanted to get out of that and be rich by wholesaling. I wanted it more than that guy wanted to feed his kids. And that doesn't say he didn't want to feed his kids. What that shows is how badly I wanted it, how much it hurt my stomach. It's hunger. Like, it's not like physical, like I'm actually hungry, but like it's mentally, it's a hunger pain. I wasn't hungry. I had hunger pains of how badly I wanted to not work that 9-to-5 life and how I see people working 60, 70 hours just sad and depressed all day with that job. I had hunger pains in my life to not work like that. It's insane. And so it's not about that drive. It's how bad you want it. And it created a beast within me that keeps going. And I use that beast to destroy wholesalers. It's my weapon. And the number one thing, and most importantly, if you if you want to go out here, reset your brain for just a better life, this is wholesaling, very specific for wholesaling too, but eliminate all excuses. Every single bad thought in your mind, every single sad thought you had, every single excuse of, oh, you're tired, it's a rough day, it's a tired day, and everyone's got rough and bad days. But to live in that victim mentality, that victim mindset of having excuses when it comes to wholesaling, I will never tolerate. There are people that give excuses in life, I get it. But when it comes to wholesaling houses, I will not accept one single excuse. There is none. I've had blind wholesalers do deals. I've had wholesalers no hands do deals. I've had wholesalers in very tough situations do deals. And out of the hundreds of thousands of wholesalers I've taught in wholesaling real estate too, there's always somebody that I've taught to get their first deal that has had a worse situation than you. Name it. I promise you, name it. I've had terminal people do wholesaling deals. It's like, it's crude to say, but it's like kind of like a Walter White Breaking Bad thing that way they make money for their family, right? I've had people in more dire situations than you make money in wholesaling. And what does that mean? That means there should be zero excuses for you. Oh, but you know, and they gave me an excuse, and it's a terrible one. But I know a guy that had that, and they lived in South Korea in their mom's basement with no internet. They did it in an internet cafe. You say me this, I have this situation. Guys, whatever you want to throw at me, whatever wah story about your life, there's always someone that had a worse situation that went out of that and did better. And what that means is unless you are the one person in this world that is the saddest, worst situation and then it has the most bad luck in the world, unless you're that one person, there's always somebody have it worse than you. And so just understanding you have to eliminate your excuses. And even if, all right, you're that person, all right, even if you are that person right now in wholesaling that goes out here and is the worst person ever, that is having the worst life, you're still living a better life than a dead person. If you ever want to get yourself motivated, think about how many people woke up this morning that weren't able to be alive, right? It was their time. But you were given a second go. You were given a go to wake up in the morning and have life. You have air in your lungs right now. Some people, tomorrow's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed for me, you, or anyone else. And so knowing this, that you've woken up today and you have an opportunity to live your life, it should get you excited. Whoa, okay. I like it. I can make some money today, right? I can change my life. I'm actually awake. I'm alive right now. A lot of people aren't able to say that. You're richer than every person in a graveyard. You have more time than every dead person. You are completely blessed and lucky to be alive right now. And so when you start looking at life like that, through that perspective, start making more money. Guys, if you want to start making money in wholesaling real estate, I've always said this. I multimillionaire many times over. I teach you guys how to wholesale real estate of a free wholesaling course because stupid YouTube sometimes, basically all the time, doesn't let me give my live calls, doesn't let me go through skip tracing, doesn't let me show you how to pull probate lists anymore. I have a free wholesaling course where I host private servers. I spend over 10 grand a month hosting it, keeping the website up, having editors for it. Just free. I spend 6 figures a year annually to have a website to teach you how to wholesale real estate. Isn't that crazy? I literally have a website that teaches you how to do it for free. And I spend all this money and I don't make a dime off of that website. I give it all for free. So you should go to that website. It's called freewholesaling.com. I've talked about this forever, but this is my gift to the world. My dad has taught me wholesaling real estate for free. In turn, I decided not to hoard that knowledge, but to give that knowledge to the people freely to the world. Like the internet gave information free for everyone, I want to do the same thing for wholesaling real estate. So you have now all the tools to become wholesaling successful. So go through the course, go through every single one. Don't skip it. A lot of people skip some parts, go through the whole thing. You want to become successful.